And we're live.
2 minutes late. See, I told you we were going to be late.
It took me a while to type. I remember the thumbs up. So,
About
oh well.
about 10 minutes ago, Kate was saying we were going to be late. And I said, "Man, we'll be fine." So now that we're 2 minutes late, I got to blame it on her. So.
Well, there's no one else here right now but us, so it really doesn't matter. I don't know how many people are going to be here today because everybody's out in the wonderful spring weather.
What's our title for today, sweetheart?
I'm sorry?
What was our title for today?
Happy spring officially.
Ah, okay.
And I don't have my ears on again today.
Uh-oh.
So you're going to have to speak up.
Or you could go get your hearing aids.
Well, I could.
Since
Why don't you
there's-
talk to the one person that's here
Yeah,
while I go
okay.
do that?
It's a whole lot easier to live with Kate when she's got her hearing aids in, believe me. It's funny though, but since she got her hearing aids, her hearing without her hearing aids has gotten seemingly worse. I don't know if it's just kind of imaginary or what, but she's also pretty good at reading lips. So before she got her hearing aids, I tried to make it a point to be looking at her when I spoke to her. Couldn't always, but I tried. But now with her hearing aids in, she can hear me pretty well.
Do you know who's here yet?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
my goodness, we got three and nobody's talking yet.
Maybe I was monopolizing the conversation.
That's probably true. You tend to do that.
Yeah, I do. I'm a bad guy. So who else here? Come on, fess up. Who are we talking to?
Say hey. Let us know who you are and where are you from.
Oh, I got the map. Well, I'll announce that again later, but
Yeah.
it's a big one too. God, it's going to be huge on this wall back here. By the way, finding some cork or something to put that on,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to cost us
A lot of money.
five times what the map costs.
Yeah, but it'll cost us a whole lot less than what the wall will cost to have to put to cover up all the holes we poke
Well,
in.
that's probably true, but I'll tell you what, we're talking at least a couple $100 for a frame, a frame piece of cork, big enough.
Darling, we'll get a foam core board. Several foam core boards. You get them 4x8. Oh, look. Hi,
Okay.
Susanna and Billy and Allie. Welcome,
Well, and
everybody.
If you know ways to accomplish that
Yeah.
without, because I was
Yeah,
going through
I know ways to accomplish it for less than
Home
50 bucks.
Depot, and okay, well then I'll leave the rest of it to you. Needs to be 48 by 96.
Oh, look.
It's huge.
Ray
It's really
from
big.
Howie. Hi, Pacific. Good to see you.
Hi
Thank
there.
you for coming. Toothpaste covers holes. That's probably true, but not if you're going to stay in the place, and I'll be staying here a while, and so will he. So,
True.
hello, Ruth. Hi, Tara. Good to see you.
People are starting to show up. Hi there, folks. Welcome. I'm not going to pretend I remember everybody.
Well, we got two that are over from Howie's on the
Oh.
Love Raid I told you
That's
about.
right. You told me we might be getting
Pacific
some
Permaculture
visitors.
and Tara's Crazy Life. Are
Well,
both.
thank you for coming by. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's wonderful to see you. Thank you for dropping over.
I mean, Kate had a real nice channel going, a couple thousand subscribers, and then the bottom fell out of that one, so
Thank
she's
you,
had
Susanna.
to start over again. And how many followers do you have now for this one?
197 as of
So
this morning.
it's creeping back up, but it's
I'm sorry, 187
you know,
as
she
of this
had
morning.
over 2,000 on her other channel, which
Yeah.
I still find it hard to believe that Google can't just like, okay, we'll give you a new password for your account, or and let you back into it.
I'm sure they can. They just
'Cause-
don't want to.
Because I can get to it. I mean, I can go there and watch videos and see
Everyone
see
can.
their past live streams and everything, but we just can't manage it or put anything new on it.
Hi, Iris. Thank you, Tara.
Really
I didn't
sucks.
realize it was 188. Somebody else just signed up.
And Diamond Rule said someone had unsubscribed her. That's probably
Yeah, that happens a
that's
lot.
YouTube. They do that crap all the time. Yeah, Tara, the other, inside Kate's kitchen became inaccessible.
No, I do not, Susanna. I don't get
And,
the income at all. Because when I was trying to get everything set up, to get the income is when they came in and
Yeah.
took everything. So
She had just about finished,
Green
just
Eyes
about
channel.
crossed the last
She
T.
channel back. The hackers actually took her channel and made it theirs. They were even selling her merchandise. Well, if I had merchandise, I'm sure they would be doing mine too. How did she get hers back, Allie? That's Miss Green Eyes. I'm gonna copy that down so I can go and see if I can contact her. Oops, not that one. There, I got that down.
Why do you have all those windows open?
Well, most of them are blank because I copy recipes and save them, and I don't have to reopen
Well,
them.
just like right now, you've got
My recipe
1, 2, 3,
binders.
4, 5.
This is How to Grow
6.
Rosemary, which I was looking at. Same thing there, and
You got-
that's Howie's channel.
You've got 6 tabs open.
Mm-hmm.
If I have 3 tabs open at one time on my computer,
I'm better at multitasking than you are.
No, I mean, if I have more than 3, I'll go back and shut some of them down. And then, my God, how many documents did you have open down there? Just, and look at that, you got all of them are untitled. What?
All of them are blank except the last one, which is where I'm putting the names of channels I want to check out.
Oh, okay. So you just
Hi, Howie.
you have some very odd management techniques. I'll put it that way. At least odd to me. She's got
Allie said,
she's
"Go to
got
the
like
channel,
8 blank
watch your
documents.
Watch your videos about it and reach out to her. I will do that. Thank you. Ceiling tile for drop ceilings work great for push pins. That's true, but we have to be able to mount it on the wall without causing a lot of problems
You
with
know,
the
those
wall.
command strips, apparently, that's a new kind of double-faced tape that will come off your walls without tearing them up, I
Right.
guess. I still don't trust them.
Well, I've got them all over the house.
Well, you can trust them all you want. I don't.
So far, it's worked fine. Let's see. That's why I mentioned it so Kate can reach out to her. Super. Well, I copied it from what you said and put it on a blank document so I can check it
Thanks,
out.
Allie, because I find it hard to believe that YouTube can't recover this for her. But I have absolutely no ability to go in there and do anything on her behalf because my name isn't anywhere on that site.
Right.
So Kate's the only one they'll talk to, and they pretty effectively just shut her down.
Yeah, they sure did.
And it pisses me off.
But I'll do what Allie suggested.
Yeah,
Go talk
yeah.
to Miss Green Eyes.
Maybe
and see if
there's-
she can't do something about it.
Maybe there's things that
She can tell me
you
how to do.
haven't tried yet.
Mhm.
Let's hope anyway. That'd be a good thing. So anyway, moving on. Let's see what else is going
Suzanne,
on.
have you gotten my box yet? Hi, Joe. Welcome. Yeah, David's here. He slept last night.
By the way, last week when I wasn't here, I don't know what the heck happened, but Saturday night I just got really
Sick.
sick, and I ended up sleeping about 18 hours, which is generally how I get better. That's kind of how I heal.
Yeah.
I just kind of go away.
If he's coming down with anything, if he goes to bed and sleeps for about 12 hours, 14 hours, then he wakes up and he's better. Thank you, Joe.
So-
It's nice to be well.
Yeah, it is.
I am going to find that receipt and run a tracer because I got the number this time.
What'd you send her?
I sent her some seeds. And we know they can get through because she's received seeds from other people.
Well, we received seeds from China, so
Mm-hmm. Not
Yeah,
that
that
we
was
wanted
kind
them,
of-
but
that was kind of a tricky scam there, you know. Send invasive species seeds from China just
out of the blue.
at random, out of the blue to, probably bought a mailing list to some gardening magazine, and it's a different way to insidiously just kind of do some damage.
Right.
Strange methods of warfare in use today, I'll tell you that. Okay.
Howie, if you have any moringa seeds, will you send some to Susanna, please? I'll reimburse you for the cost of the mailing and stuff because I've tried 3 times and so far she hasn't gotten any of them yet. And I'm now out of moringa seeds. Now, 8 people here, and we got 6 thumbs up.
Cool.
6 thumbs up, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you, Howard.
Folks are starting to get, plans for Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure viewership is going to start going down a little bit as the weather gets better.
Maybe, maybe not.
Well, I mean, if I didn't kind of have to be indoors, I think today would be a real nice day to be outside.
Mm-hmm. And it's,
When I looked at the thermometer report, it was 64 degrees, so it's still, for Texas a bit chilly, but for me it'd be perfect.
oh, good. Okay, Susanna, thank you. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why. Maybe it's my local post office doesn't want me to
I'll
mail
tell
things
you.
to Canada. I don't know.
I tell you, our local post office has a stellar reputation as the last place in the world you want to go. It really sucks. It's got a
Yep,
really, really
it
bad
does.
reputation.
But the first one I sent from the main post office in San Antonio, and it still didn't get through to her. Hi, Lisa.
Hi,
Good
Lisa.
to see you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The postal service here in Cibolo, we only have one post office, and our delivery is pretty good, but services down at the post office are atrocious. And apparently there's a whole lot of people feel the same way about it.
What's the matter, Tara? Don't you like playing with ice cubes around your toes? She said it's a little cold, so she doesn't want to
Yeah.
wash her car. Planted 5 pots of marigold seeds. Very good. We've been well, found a lot of parts. I was looking for spare, though. Oh, very good, Joe.
Way to go, Joe.
Every so often, my aging cousin creates a new mailing address for me.
There you go. Pony Express.
Or maybe Turtle. I think you're right, Ruth. Definitely. Turtle. Don't like the cold and wet mixed together. I can understand that, Tara. That's not fun for us either. I've got all kinds of things to plant this next week, and I'm trying to get ready to have the house fumigated, so it's a little bit on the busy side.
Yeah,
but
it's
I'm gonna
time
try
to-
and get some of the things out that need to get in the ground.
When you have birds, there's no way that you can avoid not having pests. It's just nature of the beast. That kind of go hand in hand. So we're going to have basically the whole house fumigated this coming week. Then we have to take the birds out, and we're going to be boarding them for a couple of days. And we have to leave, but we don't really
For several hours, though.
for a few hours. So we'll probably just park out in the front yard with the dog and the cat with us while they kind of treat the whole house, and then we'll be able to come back in and resume our lives.
Susanna, it would be good enough to start, but they are very deep tap-rooted plants, so the sooner you get them in ground where they can put out a deep tap root, the better they'll do. I've got a elderberry plant that is sitting in water. I started it from a branch on another one that broke off in the wind. I brought it inside and just stuck it in water, and it now has roots on it.
Yeah,
I also have several.
bizarre. So that's bizarre. I mean, it was dead.
I also have several peach branches. When I was trimming our peach tree before it got started leafing out, and I set them in a bucket to take them around to the compost pile, and it rained overnight. I came back out a couple of days later, and there were blossoms and leaves coming out on the pieces that had been cut off. So I brought them in and stuck them in water, and I'm going to see if they'll grow, because if they will, I'll have peach trees all over my orchard. I also have 2 rosemaries to plant. I've got 2 tomatoes that I planted in just regular solo cups that have grown crazy. I need to get them into the soil. I've got all kinds of herbs to plant. Oh, hi, Wendy. Wendy at Hardneck Farm is here. Okay,
How is
Suzanne.
Ron doing? That's a loaded question.
He's not really doing terribly well. He's trying. I will give him that. He is now
Just
trying
not
to.
sure how hard he's trying. But
He's now drinking lemonade in place, or lemon flavored tea in place of the alcohol as often as he can remember to do it, which is a step in the right direction. So things are better.
I'll be surprised, but he seems to be trying, and that's the important thing.
He is. Joe says he's been cleaning
Hard
stuff,
neck
headed for
farms.
monthly store trip tomorrow. Oh, yeah. That's a big
We've
thing.
been
Gardening.
we've been doing a lot of cleaning in preparation for doing this. Kind of our every couple of years massive onslaught to kill all the bugs in the house.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been throwing away a lot of stuff and taking stuff down to
The Goodwill.
Goodwill. I've lost quite a bit of weight, and a lot of my old wardrobe is just gigantic.
Yeah, it's 4
So
or
a
5
lot of
sizes too
A
big.
lot of that stuff is going out, and just stuff. Our closets are full, and they're going to be less full.
And I've gotten rid of almost 200 books already, and I have a bunch more to go.
Just
We got rid of a whole bunch of our DVD library that we really didn't watch, didn't really need, so we got rid of them. What else? Of course, clothing like crazy.
I'll go into some of the good DVDs though. Got all the Star Trek and Star Wars, and what else? A lot of James Bond, a lot of I don't know what else.
I mean, I saved a whole
Some
bunch of
old
my
stuff, too.
classics. I saved a bunch of my classic movies from like the 50s and the 40s and that kind of thing.
I hung on to some DVDs of the old TV series Cheyenne,
Mm-hmm. And I saved
and then
several of those as
some
well.
Gunsmokes,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So we'll hang on to some of that
And I
stuff.
saved Andy Griffith, and I saved The Rifleman, and I forget what else. I saved a lot of really old
There's-
movies like that.
That Carol Burnett stuff that
Yep.
I think that's still in there in the living room, I think, but that's
Yeah.
one that we got not too long ago. Yep. So anyway, it's the older you get, the less you need stuff. So we're trying to cut down a little bit. Our place is fairly large. It's about 3,000 square feet, but it's just because of all the stuff that we've brought in via the passing of 2 of Kate's sisters over the last several years. We got way more stuff than we would normally have. Plus, we got a refrigerator, a piano and an organ that belonged to David up front,
Our Ron's
Ron's
housemate, the owner of the
housemate.
house.
because they didn't have room for it, so they brought it down here, and we've had that over there for a couple of years now.
5 years.
5 years we've had that. Oh my God, I forget how long we've lived here. And it's been 10 years now almost.
It'll be, let's see, this month is 10 years.
Yeah. No, we moved in March. You're right. Yeah, we did.
Is anybody out there talking? I haven't seen anything news for quite a while in the chat.
They're listening to us run our mouth, or me run my mouth, I guess.
Who else is planting stuff, and what are you planting? And do you celebrate spring in any special way? 13 watching, thumbs up. Yeah. Thank you, Wendy. Roma tomatoes. Oh, I love Roma tomatoes. I hope I can plant some, but I have some tomatoes from Susanna that I'm going to try and plant and grow this year. We'll see how it works. What all have you planted, Wendy? Wendy
Is
says
that
she's been
hardneck?
planting for like crazy. What?
That's Wendy is Hardneck Farm.
Mhm.
Hi, Wendy.
And I'm in Willow,
Yeah, I like-
Susanna.
I have to say, the spring is my favorite time of the year. And where I loved it most when I lived in Nebraska, because spring in Nebraska is just gorgeous. When everything starts coming out, it's really nice.
Yes, I love spring in Nebraska as well. Having grown up and spent most of my life here in South Texas, where we have two seasons.
It
We
just,
have,
it doesn't show as much spring. I mean, we're lucky now because we're living in an area where spring does show,
Mhm.
but it's not a huge dramatic thing like it is, say, in the Midwest.
Right. Joe says that he's going to plant strawberries for his mom.
Ah,
But our two seasons here in Texas are hot and not.
yeah. Well, Iris, I like the spring and the fall because here in Texas, the summer is just too freaking hot for me. I don't mind the winters here; they're pretty mild.
Tara's
Okay,
gonna
so
plant
Tara's going to plant a lot of stuff.
tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, and peppers. Wow, very good. And Wendy's got eggplant, peppers, tomatoes, herbs, cauliflower, cabbage, leeks, flowers, Brussels sprouts, and onions. Wow.
Yeah, you are going crazy. That's
Maintaining
go.
that and keeping them watered is going to be a lot of work too.
Yep.
Summer's your least favorite, Iris?
Yeah, I agree with that, Iris. Here in Texas, it's brutal. It really is brutal in the summer.
Yeah, when you have 30 days that the temperatures are over 100, it gets a bit much.
Yeah.
Tara wants zucchini. Tried last year and the rabbits got it. I can't grow zucchini because we have borers, little plants that get in and eat the inside out of the vines. So we can't have vine things very well. Timon's going to plant pumpkin seeds and squash seeds outside.
What
With
over?
cloches over them. That's a good idea. Susanna Howie was showing in his earlier on his live stream. He takes glass jars and he puts his plants in and puts the jars over them, and the frost doesn't get to them. You might want to try that. Allie, why are tomatoes and peppers hard for you? Iris, you talk about somebody that sweats. David has hyperhidrosis, and he sweats like crazy. I mean, it's amazing.
In my life, I have never met another person that sweats easier than I do, ever. To the best of my
I
knowledge,
thought Kendra did.
no, almost as bad, but
His daughter.
Unfortunately, she inherited it.
Yeah.
My dad, I got it from my dad, but like I said, I've never met anybody that sweats easier than I do.
Allie says it's hard to grow anything there.
Forgive me for asking, Allie, where are you? Kate probably knows, but
Actually, I don't remember.
are you
right
in Canada or someplace where there's a cold climate?
now. Wendy, we have what's called straight line winds. They can get up to 100 miles an hour or more, but they're not constantly.
No.
No? I thought they got up to that high. How high do they get up?
Maybe you might get 60 mile an hour winds through here. 100 mile an hour winds would wipe everything out.
Well, that's what it did
That's-
a couple of years ago on the
Well,
4th
that,
of
that,
July.
that one was a little tornado. That was a little tornado that touched
Was
down.
it?
And then the
Okay.
straight line winds were around the
Okay.
area of the tornado. We got those here,
Mm-hmm.
but the tornado is what tore up the stuff down there at that yard.
Okay. I thought it was straight line winds for the whole thing.
Well,
Sorry
at
about
least
that.
that was the discussion over the next few days about it anyway online, was
Mm-hmm.
that they did see a little, it would have been just a number of one tornado, and they said it lasted maybe a minute, went up the road and disappeared.
Okay.
So, but anyway,
Joe says his dad sweats off
Howie's
his
on an
patches.
island.
That's the problem.
Yep, on an island on the west coast of Canada. That'd be
Sweated
nice.
arms sweated through her palms. That's interesting.
Yeah, my palms used to sweat really bad.
Allie lives just outside of Boston, next to the ocean. My parents were raised in Boston.
When my palms would get really sweaty, I could make a fist and there'd be drops
Drip.
of sweat
Oh,
coming
my.
off. Yeah. Luckily, as I've gotten older, my palms don't sweat so much. And God, when I was a teenager, under my arms was just pitiful. There was nothing I could wear that didn't show sweat stains under my arms. Okay, enough of that crap. Vancouver Island. I
That's
would
where
like to
Howard
see
is.
that. I gotta ask a question and say something here too. Kate and I were talking last night about vacations. We were watching I don't know, a program about cruise ship or something. I don't recall. But anyway, Kate told me that basically she's never been on a vacation.
Never have.
Now, I can't say that I've had that many, but I have had some just pure vacations, either way back when with my kids or after they were gone, and went on a cruise, a 7-day cruise out of Miami and stuff when I lived in Sacramento. But Kate's never been on a real vacation, so I got to thinking. Galveston, which is just up the road from us here a little bit, has a lot of cruises that go out from there with Princess, Carnival, and even Disney, which I think is out of question. And I've been thinking about trying to take my baby on a cruise.
That would be fun.
Now, the problem, of course, is that it has to be very handicapped accessible for me. So I've been looking at some of the things that go along with that, which
See you in a few
obviously
minutes, Valerie.
is larger cabins, and they've got roll-in showers and grab bars and things of that sort, and no sills on the doorways and stuff like that. But there are accommodations that can be made, including elevators to go from floor to floor, things of that sort. And on most of these ships, they have some part of both their swimming pool and their whirlpool handicapped accessible. I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but I'm assuming it's kind of like a sling seat or something,
Yeah.
elevator or something, take it down over. But it would be fun. I'd love to do it. I just would love to do it. But I was telling her we would both have to buy
Isn't that fun,
a
Susanna?
whole lot of a totally new wardrobe for both of us. Because when you go cruising, you gotta have the clothes for it. That's just all there is to it. Yes, I agree on that. She needs it. I got to thinking now it's going to bug me if I can't do it, but
Susanna, that's one of the places we talked about we would like to have is the Alaska cruise to go and see.
I would love to go on the inside cruise to Alaska, but that would be prohibitively expensive. I mean, we're looking at if just for I need to keep it down a little bit. In other words, we can afford a couple $3,000 for the the cabin and the fees and all that stuff, but I'm not going on a $50,000 cruise.
Susanna says, ring that bell, bird.
Yeah.
That's Dandy. He wants out, and I'm ignoring him, so he's letting me know.
I'll tell you, the biggest handicap for us doing any kind of vacationing, I mean, we could, is someone to stay with the birds. If it wasn't for that, Kate and I could go
Anyway,
a lot of places. I'd love to go out and see what's there's a canyon thing out in West Texas. I can't recall the name of it. It's kind of like the Grand Canyon.
are you talking about Big Bend?
Yes, Big Bend.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I would love to see the Big Bend area. But then I'm a sucker for that kind of scenery.
Desert scenery.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty nice, but it's also very rustic, and we'd probably have problems getting your chair up and down
Well,
those mountainsides.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's things that can be done even for those with
I'm
handicaps.
just being silly.
But there's a whole lot of places I'd like to see. It's a matter of we need somebody to take care of our birds, and that is just real hard to find. I mean, we're going to put them up for 2 days while we do the house, and that's going to be how much per bird per day?
$46 per bird per night.
46 per bird.
Per night. Our former
Oh
vet
shit!
used to charge $16 per bird per night,
Yeah.
but she has closed that practice, or not closed it, but she stepped away from it and doesn't do it anymore. There's someone else taking it over now, and I don't know them, so I'm not willing to trust my birds like that. So we're going to a vet that lives nearer where I used to live, and I've heard some good things about them. But yeah, $46 per night per bird, and we have 3 birds. And we also have a dog and a cat that would have to be boarded. And they're more expensive because they require more hands-on work. So we're probably looking at $250, $300 a night.
Well, we may go down to one night then. In
Wait.
other words, if we're talking about boarding them here for next week.
Oh, that's all we're taking is one overnight. It'd be 2 days and 1 night, and
Okay.
$46 for a 24-hour period. Mm-hmm.
I thought I remembered the 16. I thought it was 16 for a bird per night.
Unfortunately, no, not with the new vet.
Ooh. Who's the new vet? I mean, it's not
It's not Dr. Hill.
it's not Hill anymore.
No, Dr. Hill stepped away from that practice. And they won't,
Okay.
they do not allow the pet parents in to the vet office at all. You have to take your pet in a carrier, stand by the door and let them take them. No, he can't.
Diamond, number one, I wouldn't trust Ron with him.
I don't know whether I would have
And
a problem trusting Ron, but the birds
no,
are
right.
more than most people can handle. He has a
That's-
small bird, but
That's why I wouldn't trust him. Is that there's no way that he can handle these guys.
and he'd
gotta
probably come
have
away missing a few fingers.
You gotta have a certain amount of determination about you to handle these birds, and they can sense your fear in a heartbeat,
Yeah, they can.
and they will exploit that to the nth degree. My feeling is that these guys, the big birds anyway, they can sense our aura. I could tell you stories from now till the second Tuesday of next week how the birds used to read me when I would come home from work, when I was working for the Governor's Commission on Disabilities in Tallahassee, because it was so depressing sometimes that I couldn't help but bring it
Hello,
home.
Eric. Good to see you.
And they would avoid me. And then other days I'd be okay, and they would basically embrace me. So they can read people, and they know when you're afraid of them, and they'll push you around real hard.
They tried that when I first met them.
That didn't work with her.
And it was really funny because what these two, the 2 older ones, do is when they meet somebody new, if they're in their cages and someone walks up to the cage, they lunge at the cage like they're going to bite you, and then watch to see how you react. Well, most people at
folks,
least jump back.
They jump back.
I didn't even blink my eyes. I just stood there, and they kind of pulled back and looked at me like, "What's wrong with this
Yeah,
one?"
that didn't work.
Yeah. So,
But that's the macaw lunge is a
well,
they
no.
do it to each other. I mean,
Mhm.
that's one of their bluffing techniques.
Right.
They don't necessarily want to bite you, but they'll act like they're gonna. Man, that when you see that beak coming at you, it does get your attention.
Yeah. And why
But
I
I've always
didn't
said,
jerk.
that she was too dumb to know better.
Yeah, I was going to say why I
she
didn't
didn't know
jump.
to
I don't know
recoil.
because I didn't know anything about big birds. then.
that was basically her introduction to big birds was that, and she didn't know enough to be startled. I guess is a good
I
way to
guess
put
not.
it.
Either that or I just didn't think that. Thank you, Eric. I guess I didn't react because I'd had so many experiences with little birds,
Yeah,
and they had never really hurt me. That it didn't occur to me that the big birds would. When I was a younger person, I raised parakeets and finches, so I had a lot of bird experience, just not big bird experience. Take care, Pacific. Thanks for dropping by.
yeah. Thank you very much. Always glad to see everybody who comes by. Yep.
By the way, for those of you who were in on the vacation discussion, I have taken time off for vacations throughout my life, but that time is always spent helping someone move or helping someone do a large work chore of some kind that they need help with, and I just would take my vacation time and go help. So I've taken
in
vacation
essence,
time, I've
she's
just never gone on a vacation.
she's never had a vacation for herself.
Right.
She would turn around and you would spend your vacation time
Helping others.
helping others. You see why I keep her?
Well,
We need to some way or another figure out a way to take you on a vacation. my
I need
dear.
somewhere
I really
to
do.
figure out what to do with this hair of mine. It's driving me crazy. It's too clean. I washed it this morning and it's too clean. It's driving me nuts though.
Now mine too.
That's right. Yours too, huh?
Yeah, there was a time when I'd shake that it would go.
Yep, not that long
I
ago
think
either.
when I first met Kate, my hair was really long, and my beard wasn't totally gray, and it was a long time
Hi,
ago.
Chaz. Good to see you. I'm glad you
Chaz,
dropped in.
I hope to get that. I want to get the map up. I really do, because I want to
We're
start
gonna have to do
putting
it.
pins in here where we got people.
Yep.
Maybe
Eric's laughing at you. He thinks you're
we
funny.
might even put some names up there, just to.
Maybe a little flag on each
Yeah,
pin with the
something
name
like
of the
that.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes, I saw you in Towie stream too and checked out your channel, or put your name down to check out your channel as soon as all the live streams are over. On Sundays, I
Sunday's a
keep
busy
a
day.
list. Pardon?
Sunday's a busy day.
Yeah, and Sundays I keep a list of the new channels when I go to various people's live streams, and then during the week, when I have spare time, I sit down at the computer and look up the channels, watch a couple of videos, generally subscribe, and leave comments. So I'm making lots of new friends. And Chaz, yours is there.
You're moderating again on Sunday mornings now too, again, aren't you?
Not as a regular thing, no.
Oh, okay.
It just happened. Howie's doing a 24-hour
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yeah.
Happy Earth Day thing, and I was in there with him doing some moderating.
Yep.
My regular moderation times right now are just the Broussards on Thursday evening.
Yeah, you have done. You cut back a lot on that. You're right.
Yeah, I had to cut
It's
back
probably
on.
a good idea because it was running you ragged
Yeah, I was moderating
almost every day.
11 channels a week.
Yep. And she does it well. I mean,
Thank you.
Kate is a top-notch moderator, and has even taught others how to do it. So
Yeah, I thought about starting a school on how to
another
moderate.
school. The other one kind of died off, didn't it? So to speak, the one that you were a part of here not too long ago.
Well, we didn't have too many people that were.
Yeah, there was only
asking
3 or
to.
4 of them. Well,
Thank you,
Chaz,
Tara.
thanks for coming by to see us. So appreciate it. Yep. And that's obviously somebody came over to us from Howard Street. That's nice.
Mhm.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Give that a little thumbs up and tell YouTube we be good folk.
Yeah. Or at least you like some of the things that we say. I am really trying to build this one, although I am not going about it the same way I did the last channel. The last channel, I went to every live stream I could find and tried to moderate every channel that had live streams so that my name would be out there and a lot of people would subscribe.
And it worked.
It worked beautifully. I
And
had
she
over
worked her butt
1,000
off.
people in the first 6 months.
She worked her butt off to do that too.
But the problem was most of them would come and subscribe, but they didn't come back and watch the videos, and I was not getting the watch hours and things. Thank you, Wendy. This is one of my favorite shirts. I just love that butterfly. So anyway, what I'm doing this time is I am slowly getting subscribers. I'm not going to every live stream. I'm just going to the ones who have things in common with me, beliefs and that sort of thing. Yes, thank you, Joe. I appreciate it.
And the pace of you doing videos has slowed down.
Slowed down considerably. I've not
Yeah,
done a new video on this channel yet.
I have been remiss in that I have about a half a dozen videos that Kate has selected from her old channel that I need to just massage just a little bit, put a new introduction on there so that we tell people this is an older video basically, but put it up here on the new channel. And I've just been forgetful, I guess is probably the best word, about taking care of that for some reason. I need to get off my butt and do it. So maybe I'll remember now that I've kind of.
Now that you've told the world.
I've put myself on the line. The first one I want to put out there is the one you did on your strawberry jam.
Gamers, some of us never grew up in the 70s. Well, Chaz, those of us sitting at this table never grew up in the 50s. So. Joe says he forgets things and he's just 32.
Kind of done to be 32 again.
I wouldn't want to go back there.
30s would be okay.
No, I didn't even want to go back there. I like who I am now. I like my life now. I don't want to go back. I don't even want to think about anything back there. That's all in the past. It went to make me who I am now, and I like that person. Chaz is 63. I'm 71. He's 74. Yeah, because I'll be
73.
70,
73.
73. Okay, because I'll be 72 in a couple of months.
47? Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm in the 70s, and so is he.
I can't remember. That's really
I also
bad. when you
got
can't
Chubs
remember how
from
old
Lake
you are.
Kirby Saturday morning chat. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And he has quit doing those all. I'm more forgetful as I get older. I'm in my
Yeah,
40s.
I'm in my 70s. That's close enough.
I figure if I remember where my glasses are each morning and I try and put them right on the nightstand beside me, I passed my old timer's test for the day and everything is fine
Well,
after
it's a
that.
good thing you don't use your phone for that test, or you'd fail it about twice a week.
And that's why I don't do it.
She's
I
always,
choose something I know I can
she's
pass.
always losing her phone.
And my keys. I'm bad with
Yeah,
phone and keys.
Very true.
Hmm.
Very true.
I used to, when keys didn't cost so much to duplicate, I used to have three sets of keys. for every
And your
vehicle.
sunglasses were missing. We almost reached the point where we were going to go get her another pair of sunglasses, and
Prescriptions.
they were stuck down in a chair that we don't use much. That
Wendy's only 52. You're a baby.
Kate has stuff stacked on because it's a reasonably flat surface. So Kate has commandeered it for stuff.
Eric's 6. You are a kiddo, Eric.
6?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Tara, I'm kind of with you. I mean, there are only certain places that I will even consider putting my wallet down or my keys down or, things of that nature. And other than that, I've got them in my hand until I get to a designated storage location for that particular item.
Sadly, I have racks outside right by the back door where I come and go to hang my keys on, and I always come in with everything else in my hands, and I can't stop to put them on the rack, so I think I'll bring them back, set stuff down, and go get the rest of it, and I forget to put them up there.
Yeah, Diamond Willow, a contingent on going back to when I was 32 would be that I have up here what I have now. It'd be a whole lot different, wouldn't it, if we could step back with what we know now back then. Yeah.
Lisa, Alzheimer's runs in my family as well. So, and my dad died when he was 73, and he had the beginnings of Alzheimer's. So, I'll be
So far, I
72 in
think I'm
August.
okay. And both my mom and dad were very present in the present, I guess you could say, right up until the end.
My mom is 91, and she's beginning to have a little bit of memory problems, but not really bad at all. But my dad, like I said, died when he was 73, and he had Alzheimer's.
That is the cruelest fate that I can imagine.
It's not a fun
You know,
thing to
you're
consider having either.
Oh, man. I mean, I've only even been around someone with advanced Alzheimer's like once, maybe twice, when we'd go to outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Over in Tallahassee, when I was still with the Bird Club, we would go. Some of us would take our birds and we'd go to nursing homes or, facilities where elders lived and things, and it would light them up. I mean, it was night and day. One particular incident I had, this guy and I sat down with him, and he talked to me for like 20 minutes about birds that he had when he was a kid. As we got ready to leave, I then went around to other folks too, but this guy and I spoke for probably 20 minutes. And the manager, whoever was the head nurse there, pulled me aside as we were leaving, and she had tears in her eyes. And she said, that man has not spoken to anybody in 2 years.
Wow.
Had not spoken to anybody in 2 years. And he sat there and talked to me about it. And it was because he was lost. He was gone. Not because he was, just the quiet type. He just didn't seem to have the ability to communicate. And he talked to me for 20 minutes like I'm talking to you guys. I mean, totally aware of his surroundings and the time and date and all that kind of stuff. It was impressive.
Ruth
Okay.
Barnes says Alzheimer's is her worst spirit runs in her family. She's bad enough she has sometimes now.
Sometimes. I like that one.
I do too. That's great.
I have sometimers disease. Yeah, I thought old timers was clever. I like that one.
I
Sometimes
do
there's
too.
better.
That is great.
I'm going to steal that. Sorry. Thank you, Ruth.
When I was a teenager, just out of high school, I used to volunteer at a nursing home very close to my home. And the summer after my end of high school, I put in over 1,000 hours of volunteer work in a 3-month period. And almost all of it was with one gentleman. His family needed someone who would sit with him because he had really bad, what they called back then, dementia, which is what I believe is Alzheimer's. And I was with him 6 days a week from early morning until around 7 o'clock every night.
Huh.
And one day I would go in and I would be his secretary. And another day I would go in and I would be his daughter or his wife or his neighbor. It was never the same person. He always recognized me, but he recognized me as a different person each time. And then,
Wow.
it would, back and forth, it would change. But he was happy. He was not frightened or upset. We would go on walks together. He was physically capable of going out and doing things. We would sit in the television room and talk, or who knew, we'd just do whatever he felt like. And I did not realize until later in life, when I started interacting with the people who had difficulties with Alzheimer's, that it can be frightening to them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It can be very upsetting to them.
Scary.
Because he was just,
Well, the fact that you didn't challenge him on all of his
mhm,
identifications of you was probably what helped. Probably what
that
did
could
it.
be. That
Because,
could be.
I mean, the thing that usually sets them off is somebody saying, no, I'm your son. I'm not your
Mhm.
brother-in-law. I'm your son. And to them, that's not the way it goes. So it starts to set up conflicts. So
Well, I know
you
that
probably
he-
did the best thing you could by just going along with it.
well, I didn't see any reason to not do it. He seemed happy, and I didn't want to get him upset and worried.
Yeah, Joe, that's another thing about Alzheimer's is, you have very vivid and clear memories of the past, but you can't remember what you had for breakfast. And that's the real cruelty of it, isn't it? It takes away your present. And it leaves you hanging in the past, if that. But it's a cruel disease. It really is.
That is.
Now, I saw rickettsia has me suffering from forgetfulness.
What is that?
I'm not sure what that is in Hardneck. It's
Wendy, what is that?
I mean, is it just? I don't think it's as simple as the rickets. I mean, that's usually a vitamin
My
deficiency.
80-year-old mother, I'm glad she hasn't forgotten me yet. Yeah, my mother-in-law, my former husband, my children's dad, we took care of her. As a matter of fact, she lived on beyond his death. And she got to the point where she did not recognize anyone except my oldest daughter.
Yeah, and she cared for her for a long time.
Yes, she did. My oldest daughter took her grandmother, and they lived in the same place. And until she could not trust her to leave her alone when she went to work, the grandmother and granddaughter shared a 2-bedroom apartment. When it got to the point where we couldn't leave her alone anymore, then we put her in a private home of a lady who cared for 3 elderly people who had that problem. And it was a wonderful experience for my former mother-in-law. That it was very hard on all of us. Hi, JCT, good to see you. It was hard on us because she forgot us. She forgot all of us except my oldest daughter. So it was sad. And I've always decided that if I end up with Alzheimer's, I'm going to do my best not to get upset and not to get worried.
So long, Eric.
Hmm?
Eric's got to go do some reading.
Oh, okay. You take care, Eric. Anyway, if I get it, I'm going to try my best not to get angry because getting angry won't change anything and it won't help anything. So I'll just go along and say, whoops, I guess I forgot that one. Can't think of any other way to face it. Joe, my dad gets upset if I'm gone too long and he asks my mom where I am. So I take him places so she gets a break. That's another good thing. That's a lot of what I did with that gentleman when I was a teenager. If I had to leave the room, unless I was going to the ladies, he went with me. We'd walk down to have our lunch together in the lunchroom. Normally, if I wasn't there, somebody would bring the food to him. So I told my kids to put me in a home when I can't care for myself, but I'll not put my mother in a home. She'll die here. Good for you. My mother has asked me not to put her in a nursing facility. And I told her as long as I am capable of caring for her, I won't. But when it reaches the point I can't care for her or my dad anymore, I don't have a choice. My stepdad. Hello, Michigan Daffodil. It's good to see you. You're from your front porch. Good for you.
Yeah, I've started looking into residential facilities for, a moderate level of care. Not totally nursing homes, but assisted living. I've
My
got about
mom
half a
doesn't-
dozen places that Kate and I need to check out.
Mom and stepdad both are beginning to fall a lot. So that worries me because they still live in their own home at this point. But,
If one of them went down, the other wouldn't be able to help at all.
right.
And they both have trouble even using their phones. So
My
even
mom is
calling-
better than my
even
dad
calling
now.
911 presents an issue right there.
And I
Yes.
want to get them the thing you hang around your neck so if you fall, you just hit a button and it calls. But neither one of them will wear it. They've already told me that.
It's-
Michigan Daffodil's first time this spring outside on her porch.
Oh, well, no wonder you're saying whoopee.
Good for you. Good for you.
Woods, fresh air, yeah.
How cold is it out there, Michigan? It's in the 60s here. Headed for the 70s.
My mother was originally from Michigan. I believe they call it the Upper Peninsula.
Mm-hmm. Sue was there
She
for a
was
while.
born in a little town called Kearsarge.
Mhm.
And I don't know the geography of Michigan that well.
I don't either. Let's see. The life alert.
Now, if I had our map up here, I could take a look.
I'm sorry.
If I had our map up here, I could take a look.
No, it doesn't get that.
Yeah, it does.
To small towns?
Oh, well, pretty small. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
Kearsarge, I don't think is that small. That's not like Coolidge, Arizona,
Okay.
which is probably made on some maps. But
Jared
anyway,
says she wants a life alert for
yeah,
her
the life
mom.
alert for her mom. That's
Kids
what
are
we're
starting
talking
to
about.
get
That they
jobs
won't.
and no one's at home.
Yeah.
Well, see, David and I are both home all day long, so
But even at that, I
66 with
tend
Michigan
to
and
I tend to
JT's
carry my phone with me even if I go to the other end of the house because the way my voice is and the way her hearing is, if
I won't hear him unless he calls me.
if I tried to holler for her to come from the living room to the bedroom, I'm not sure she'd hear me.
JC, what part of Georgia are you in? We used to live
50 degrees.
in Tallahassee, real close to Georgia.
Yeah, somebody walked up to me and said, "Here, Dave, here's your life alert." I'm not sure I'd be crazy about taking that either. See, that's another. As you get older and you get more infirm,
Savannah, Georgia.
you give up things along the way. Starts out small and gets bigger and bigger. So by the time you put a life alert around your neck, you've given away a lot.
Look at this. Just won't do anything.
So
I should put it
Quit-
in a ponytail.
quit drawing attention to it.
Well,
and
it's
just leave it
bothering
be.
me. It's
Oh,
bothering me.
Okay.
Go and get a life alert button because you need it.
Yeah, there you go. Your old man will text me from upstairs. That's kind of what I'm driving at. I keep my phone with me just in case.
And even if you have your phone, sometimes I wouldn't hear it because I'd be asleep.
Yeah, that's very true too.
That's really a bad thing for me. I tend to fall asleep if I sit still for very long at all. And if I'm asleep, my ears turn completely off. And he could be sitting right next to me and
And
speak to me, and I don't hear it.
Basically, I'll holler as loud as I can. Sometimes it won't wake her up. I've got to go over and wiggle her, shake her foot.
That's-
Even as loud as I can holler, it won't wake her up.
And a lot of that's because my ears don't work, but a lot of it is also that I'm a very heavy sleeper. I go to sleep and the world goes away.
And me, I'm a real light sleeper.
And you sleep a lot more than I do. As a general
That's true.
rule,
Yeah.
I sleep 4 to 6 hours at a time, and then I'll nap the rest of the day.
But sometimes there's spans there where, like in the middle of the night, I might be awake for 45 minutes before I go back to sleep. So
Mhm.
my sleep habits have gotten kind of strange.
And then says you're the same way. You're a heavy sleeper like my dad. Yep. I've always been a very heavy
Yeah,
sleeper. When I was a kid, all the time. As a matter of fact, when my children were infants, their dad would have to wake me up when they would wake up crying because I would never hear them. I'd sleep. I got to the point where I put them in bed with me so that I would be aware when they needed something.
Well, all you have to do is touch me and I wake up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm a pretty light sleeper. She just touches me on the shoulder,
Every morning when I bring him his coffee, I just reach over and I touch him like this on the shoulder, and he wakes up, and I tell him what time it is and tell him that his coffee's ready.
I say
And he
thank
goes
you,
right
and I go back to
bed.
sleep.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, when you got kids in the house, you're tuned to them. That's just a parental thing.
I don't know why I
Yeah.
wasn't, because the kids would have bad dreams when they were real little, like in elementary school.
Yeah.
They would have bad dreams and they would come in and just crawl in bed with me because they knew they couldn't wake me up. So they'd just crawl in bed. I'd wake up the next morning and find a kid in my bed and ask them, did they have a bad dream last night? Because I never woke up, unfortunately.
I'd say, yeah, Mom, we talked about it for 15 minutes.
Probably, because I've been known to have conversations and actually get out of bed and do things and still be sound asleep. 13, 17, 18, and 19, all boys. Whoa. I had 2, and they were 2 years apart. I wanted 12, but that wasn't in the plans. So, let's see.
Okay, I think Tara was very busy.
Hair curl towards the front. Had her hair curled towards the front, what, to cover a bald spot? I just wear headbands or head wraps to cover my bald spot.
Well, Michigan Daffodil, do me a favor and please tell your paramedic hubby that I'm very grateful that he is out there taking care of the public. And I very much appreciate that he's dedicated his life to helping others.
Yes, me too.
That is
Thankless job for one thing.
it's a high calling. It is a high calling.
I don't know where they are, Susanna. They're normally here and they're just not. I don't. Maybe they didn't set their clock or
They
they
have
got busy
stuff going on.
gardening. I didn't make it to their live stream this week either. I was too sick.
Yeah, Thursday night was not a good night for Kate.
No, I felt really, really sick, and I don't know what caused it. I just one of those stomach issues. I have a lot of stomach issues since I had my gastric bypass.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I had a gastric bypass because my diabetes had gotten totally out of control. And within 3 days, my diabetes is totally gone. But I now have lots of problems with digestive issues. And I get very upset stomachs very easily. So that's what happened to me Thursday. I got sick. So
Wow, 37 years. Wow. You know, I send some respect to that boy. Please, what is your husband's name, Michigan Daffodil? Because that's a dedicated guy there.
that is. He's probably Michigan Dandelion. Because she's a daffodil.
Yeah. I tell you, that's well, yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's the commitment, though, Daffodil. It's the willingness to do that I respect greatly. It's whatever is called for when it's called for, whether that is one crisis a month or 3 every shift. It doesn't make any difference. It's still the same dedication, the same willingness, the same determination, and so on and so forth. So I greatly respect anybody who's in that kind of has chosen that career path. I'll put it that way. So
He's on a normal
please
24-hour shift.
thank him for us.
24 on, 24 off. Brett
Well, I know
started-
Brett does what? He does 48 on and then, or something like that.
I
Seems to me
really
he
don't
puts in
remember.
like-
He has an unusual
Seems like he
schedule.
puts in like 3 or 4 days at a stretch.
Mhm. And then once
And
every
then-
3
and
weeks, he
then-
gets a week off.
Yeah, and then he's off for like 3 or 4 days, and then
Mhm.
every so often he's off for like a week. He's got a crazy schedule because he's basically there just 24/7 for a number of days. No, he's on a normal 24-hour shift.
Right.
What the hell's normal about a 24-hour shift?
Is there a normal
Yeah, some are
24-hour
easy and
shift?
some are hard, yeah. Yep, that would be very true. So, it's folks like your husband that kind of keep this country going in a lot of ways. I mean, my God, what we'd do if we didn't have first line emergency workers and anarchy is an ugly word.
I
And
agree,
that's what it would
Michigan
be.
Daffodil. So are the spouses of military people.
Yeah, I was fairly lucky in that I was not in a career field that pulled me to too many odd places. I mean, I went to
Right.
Spain a couple of times. I went to Turkey. I did spend my remote tour out in the Aleutian Islands on a little island called Shemya, which was 2 miles wide and 4 miles long.
You go
And,
for a morning run and cover the whole island.
Well, it was just last night. I was looking at some pictures of Shemya. I looked it up on Google.
Hmm. Google
And,
Earth or
No, just on Google, and then I looked at the maps and the images. It looked just the same. It looked just the same.
that doesn't surprise me. Those types of
It's
places,
under.
they
It's
don't
under.
change a
It's
lot.
no longer under military jurisdiction, though. It's being handled by a private firm, but they're still doing some security work out there. They had some very secret shit going on out there when I was there.
Mhm.
Okay,
General
Terry.
contractor handyman, so he's open 24/7 most days. But love that we can make our own hours. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we are 24/7 retirees.
I can be
We make our
retired.
own schedule no
I can
matter
be
what.
retired anytime I want.
I retired in 2010.
Yep, 25 years get a bit jaded. Understandable on that. Yeah.
You know, Michigan, my dad was a police officer, my biological dad. And most of my life growing up, I would hear the stories, and they run into some of the worst of the worst. And it was very hard on my mom. He didn't get into a lot of dangerous situations, but because he was a dispatcher. But still, you run into a lot of bad people, and they do tend to get jaded after a while. Dad retired in 2004 and Mom in 2008. Yeah, I can see how they would, Joe, when you don't have that day-to-day work to call you in and keep you sharp. It's easy to go downhill. So I understand that.
Didn't bother me a bit. When I retired, I was ready to leave the work world behind.
Yeah, but you
I
were
never,
ready.
looked- I never looked back.
A lot of people retire and they're not really ready. But they have to retire due to age
Well, I
or
was
company
kinda-
rules or whatever.
We were sort of forced into it. I mean,
Yeah, but
that's-
you were ready.
That's very true.
Not everybody is.
Well, I was also ready when I got out of the military,
Mm-hmm.
and I never looked back on that either. That's
No, you didn't.
another. I was in for 20 years. A lot of people who get out of the service have a lot of trouble making that separation. I was a gone goose, boy. Yep,
Oh, very good. He's hoping to retire next year at age 60.
that's a good time to retire.
Yeah.
Well, Tara, as long as he can go, that was my plan. Believe me,
I'll tell you what, Tara.
I
I've
got
been
kind of hit
retired
between the eyes on mine.
I've been retired for 11 years and I'm busier now than I ever was when I worked a full-time job.
Well, that's true. You're doing more. Yeah. But before your brain was working, now you're working with your hands and stuff a lot more.
True.
Because you were sitting
True.
at a desk working with spreadsheets and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, I'm sorry you had to retire because of your health, but yeah, I'd say you got a few years left on your Tara.
Looks like it, Tara.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, I had to retire because of my health as well. That was the year I was diagnosed with my second bout with cancer.
Yeah, I retired because I was sick too. I was sick and tired of working. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. Anyway, she had cancer.
Pardon?
You
I had the cancer, and I took what they call short-term disability, and the company I worked for, a large telephone company, did not like that, and so they bought out my contract, gave me a very nice severance package. I was able to pay off my house with it, and I retired.
Sent her on her way.
Really have not objected to it at all. I enjoy being retired.
Daffodil, to answer your question about my latest career, I've always considered that I've lived several lives. I had 20 years in the military, and then I had about another 10 years after that working for a defense contractor doing software and communication systems for a lot of top secret outfits all over the world, the White House and CIA and all the embassies overseas and all that stuff. Then I went down to Florida and I started working on the state of Florida help desk, which was, all the state employees would call you with their computer problems. Then I went to work for the Governor's Commission on Disabilities, where I spent about 3 years doing that. And then my last year, I worked for the Agency for Persons with Disabilities, which was really a bad place to work. And then I punched out and came here. And that here is 40 years of my life. But the last career I had was working for the Agency for Persons with Disabilities, but I didn't count that time really. It was it sucked.
JC's a disabled veteran. So is he.
Yeah, I'm 100% now. But working for APD, Persons with Disabilities, that department, state of Florida, as far as how it takes care of its citizens, is like 49th out of the 50 states. Truly, it is. It's terrible in Florida. It's the worst place you can live if you are disabled. No doubt in my mind.
And it's not so great if you're elderly.
Yeah, and if you're old, Florida is not the place to retire. It truly is not.
Not anymore.
They suck the life right out of you. You got to start over on every social program. And it's really bad. Really bad. Don't go to Florida.
However, if you can stand the politics, Texas is a wonderful place for the elderly. They have great programs out there, and
you talking about Florida or here in Texas?
Texas.
Okay, all right.
And Texas,
yeah, they do. They take care of their people here. And if you're former military, in and around San Antonio is the best place in the world for someone who is retired from the military to live.
Yes, it is.
I have gotten more respect and gratitude and thanks and appreciation from the people that I've run into in this part of the country. It absolutely staggers you sometimes. I mean, they truly, truly appreciate service in the military in this area, and they will go out of their way to say thank you and to show their gratitude. So it's, I went through phases after, when I was still in the service where right after Vietnam,
not a good time to come back.
It was not a good time to be in the service because you got talked down to a lot.
You're right, Michigan. That is the reason why a lot of people just visit Florida.
Yeah, now if you're a visitor there, now the thing is, Florida's a great place to live.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it there.
I did too.
But I couldn't stand the way we were treated as people. It just sucked. So anyway.
Well, yeah, Michigan, the heat is bad, but
Yeah, it is.
everything is air conditioned now.
You know, you
so
go
most
from air
different
conditioned
things.
here to air conditioned there via the air conditioned vehicle that you went from the air conditioned places. So yeah,
Now, as far as snakes, depending on where you live, you hardly ever see them. If you live in the big cities, I lived in
I-
San Antonio for years and years and years for most of my life, and I rarely ever saw a snake.
I should have saved that picture. This morning I was looking on Facebook,
Mhm.
and this guy was holding up a rattlesnake that probably was 11 feet long.
Wow.
I mean, he had it on a stick, was holding it above his head,
Hmm.
and it was still strung out on the ground by about 4 feet. It was humongous. I mean, it had to have been
Hmm.
that big around.
Hmm.
It looked like a constrictor, and that's the biggest rattlesnake I've ever seen. It had to have been 11 feet long. It had to be. So
Well, I
that's
found
just another snake in Texas, folks.
I have found another reason why I like snakes instead of being afraid or dislike them.
Why?
Most snakes in rural Texas are very good for things like rat
Oh, yeah,
control,
yeah.
mouse control, those
Yeah.
kinds of things.
Yeah,
So I
but a
like
snake killed Linda, so I'm down on snakes. Anyway,
Or possibly more.
yeah, El Paso is another military town. You're right.
Mhm.
Yeah, they love the military there too. They got is it Fort Hood that's right outside El Paso? I think.
I don't know which fort is that.
Yeah, they really like the Army there. Here in this part of Texas, it's more the Air Force. The Air Force was the predominant service branch that was here during its heyday, whenever they had Lackland Air Force Base, Randolph Air Force Base,
Kelly
Brooks Air Force Base, Kelly Air Force Base. Did I say Randolph?
Yes.
Randolph and they
There
were
were
like
5 military
they were-
bases
and they
in
were
here
all- and they were all
in
Air
the
Force.
60s. Only
and
one was not Air Force.
they also had the Brook Hospital, which at that time I believe that was an Army hospital.
Brooks Army
Brooks
Medical
Army
Hospital.
Army Medical Center. So the Army ran that hospital. They've now taken it over. That's now BAMC, I think, which is it's kind of joint military.
No, it's SAMC,
SAMC, okay,
San Antonio Military Something Center.
medical center probably.
Mhm.
But anyway, the military is very welcome in this part of the country, and they will treat you right.
And the military, the medical in this part of the country, medical services and medical help are just phenomenal.
Yeah, they've got the burn center is here in San Antonio. They've got some of the best trauma surgery outfits in the whole country here for trauma surgery and for
Susanna,
trauma medicine. That's where they brought a lot of the Wounded Warriors
Mhm.
Center here is world class. Okay.
Susanna
Okay.
asked, why do old folks flock to Florida during the winter? Is there any other climate during the winter? Old folks flock to Florida during the winter because it is warm. It's not cold. It's not snowy.
It's pretty pleasant, during the summer in Florida sucks. I mean, it is just,
It-
it'll
think Texas
it'll
is humid.
It'll
Florida
be
is way
85
more.
degrees and 95% humidity, and it's just miserable. But
In 2094, Michigan? Are we looking into the future? Are you a time traveler now? I think you meant 1994, maybe,
or
or 2004.
yeah. Daffodil, I could sit around and trade stories about my son and his military career, would you? If you
Oh,
like?
by the way, Susanna,
Let's don't.
Texas is a wonderful place to come in the winter.
Yeah, it is. It's
Our
really nice.
winter rarely gets below freezing. Usually it's in the 40s.
This cold spell that hit the country here not a few weeks ago,
Very unusual.
boy, it broke the back here in Texas. It broke everybody's back.
2004.
Yeah.
Hello, Idaho Hoosier. Good to see you. Julie,
Yeah. Hi, Julie. Thanks for coming by.
I have been going back to the medical. I have been in the San Antonio area during both of my bouts with cancer. And in both of my bouts with cancer, I had phenomenal care. The doctors were up to date on everything. They were very well trained. Excuse me. Very intelligent. They did a beautiful job. Their staff was good. I was treated with competence, and my mom had her bout with cancer, the same thing for her. If my youngest sister had gotten medical attention instead of sitting at home, she would have been better than she was. The cancer took her.
Yep.
But yes, it's,
She waited
medical
too
in
long.
this part of Texas is wonderful.
Well, I had my hip replaced. The whole surgery took 2 hours.
Hmm.
You know, that has been the best piece of surgery I've ever had done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as the after effects, I mean, it's my right hip is great.
Polar vortex next week through April 1st. Where?
I'll tell you, Daffodil, Arizona. I'm from Arizona originally. It's where I was born. Although I'm Texan by
Choice.
nature, my choice, and by blood. It's just accidental that I was born in Arizona. Arizona is weird nowadays. Very weird. I don't think I'd want to live there. It's gone way strange. But the snowbirds out there are not really liked a whole lot by the native Arizonians. And snowbirds catch a lot of flack and are not appreciated very much. I mean, their money is, but by and large, natives make fun of the snowbirds, or at least they used to. Where in Florida, they will welcome you with open arms. They don't make any bones about it. Arizona, not so much. Diamond Willow, yeah, the snake was dead. That the guy was holding up. Oh God, we got another polar vortex coming. Ooh.
I hope not. I've got things I really need to get planted outside.
Yeah, there's. I mean, that cold spell really hurt a lot of money crops here in Texas. Yeah, and that's a different story. Taking your motor home to Arizona is a very popular pastime. My mom and dad went from the Valley of the Sun down around Coolidge in the wintertime up to Pine Top, Arizona in the summertime, and they would stay there in Pine Top at a regular spot, a regular place they went every year, at the same space, and a lot of the same people would come in there, and it was like a little community. And then in the wintertime, they'd come back down to the Valley of the Sun. So, but, they lived there for 50 years, so they weren't exactly snowbirds. But that's a lot of people do that. A lot of people. And it's a whole
Florida too.
Well, it's a whole subculture nowadays. I mean, they got these various campgrounds that, people go literally big groups, maybe 50, they just go from one campground to another, all over the country. Mm-hmm. If I could do that, I would actually, but I don't have that many friends. I don't know that many people.
We'd have to sell this place too.
Oh yeah, well,
figure out something to do with everything.
Well, yeah, traveling. That's another consideration with big birds is bear in mind you're going to be kind of tied down. Okay.
Ruth, I can't eat
Texas grown grapefruit.
I can't eat grapefruit at all anymore because of the blood pressure medication I'm on. It interferes, the grapefruit enzymes interfere with it.
Yeah, the birds are kind of, they're wanting out their cages. But if we let them out, they'll be wandering around in here or fighting
each other or tearing up whatever they're closest
tearing stuff
to.
up. So after we get done with this, okay, I'll probably let them out for a while. What you doing over there, Mr. Bravo? I see you playing with your toys. Yeah, I do. Hello, big boy. Peekaboo. Peekaboo. I see you.
This Wednesday, I'm going to load the birds into carriers and take them over to the new vet for their overnight. No, not Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to do it. Take them for their overnight.
When are they coming? Friday?
Thursday.
Okay.
I take the birds in the morning. They're not due until mid to late afternoon.
Okay.
And this should be an interesting experience. They've not been in their travel cages since we brought them from Florida almost 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So it should be an interesting experience. I'm not too sure how they do it. Oh, Michigan a lot of people feel that way about grapefruit. I was one of those who would sit and peel them and eat them like oranges. I love grapefruit, especially the Texas Ruby Red.
Yeah, one of my staple breakfasts was grapefruit and some toast.
Mm-hmm. Susanna's going to come visit us next winter to get out of the cold of Canada.
You're more than welcome to come on down.
Yeah. We got a nice guest suite. You have your own private bathroom and closed off area, and you just come and live in there and have a good time. We'll show you all the goodies in Texas. I sent out any feathers yet? No, I have not. I have not gotten anything from you, Michigan, and I don't know why. I had one email from someone that said they wanted them, and then I never got an address. So I thought maybe people just decided they didn't want them.
Right behind my chair.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got them wrapped up with a rubber band or something. Is a fan of feathers. Would you mind bringing that down?
I'll be right back, guys.
I did go through one box of our feathers, and I tried to generate what I considered to be a tail fan. And I'll show you that. Joe, I'd be happy to show them to you. They get kind of rambunctious sometimes, and it's a bit of an effort to get them out here. But oftentimes they get a little bit overexcited sometimes if we bring them out. And number one, they like seeing themselves on screen, especially Kareem. I think what I want to show you here is it's not a complete set, but it's more than most, I think. I went over and I looked at eBay, and I saw the prices for some of the feathers that they do sell. So anyway, this is what I put together for my guys, our guys. And basically, if I were to take all of these and spread them out, the longest, let's see, try this. There's some short ones underneath. And
Hello, Annie. Good to see you.
Kind of starts to look a little bit like the fan, but that's kind of what these guys have in their tails at any given time. Are this number of feathers?
Turn it around so they can see the gold on the back.
Here's the gold on the back side. So underneath looks quite a bit different. So it's when they're flying along, if you look down on them from above, the blue kind of fades into the background. And if you're below them looking up,
all you see is gold.
The yellow and the gold is kind of what you see, which goes along with reflections and colors of the sky. But that's a fairly good representation of a tail. So anyway, a set like this was going for well over $100 on eBay.
I would love to get a long plastic box that we could put these things in and lay them out as if they were a tail, and then pour resin in them and seal them in resin so that we would have that permanently to hang on the wall.
Yeah,
I think that would be gorgeous.
Yeah, it would. You're right.
And by the way,
you want to just set them on a tail.
When they do this, they don't fan like that. You have the two longer ones in the middle, then you have the next two longer ones on either side of that, and it goes down to the shorter one.
Yeah, the shorter ones are.
So, and they're usually closed up more like that when the bird is just sitting on a perch.
Generally, you end up with one super long, and then you have, generally two more. But for some reason, by the time they get this long, you very seldom have two. One of them will fall out
first.
But and then the next ones grow out, so it's a continual process. So Even the
That's why we have
shortest
so
ones,
many of them. They're always
even the
losing
shortest ones
feathers.
end up being the longest ones after all the others have fallen out.
And yes, they are very long. They are
Good.
very long. The longest one we ever got was from Carib, and it was what, 25?
25 and a half inches.
25 and a half inches. So a little over 2 feet long.
Yep.
And they are gorgeous. Now, Dandies have the blue and gold like this, but his feathers are different in that they're not as opaque as the other guy's feathers. His feathers are a little bit more translucent because the underside feathers have different colors and they tend to show through. So on his back in particular, he has green feathers,
He's
but
got
they have a rim of
gorgeous.
gold around them.
Gorgeous feathers on his back. Some of the prettiest I've ever seen.
And they show through, so they're not
Kind of
totally
trans-
opaque.
sort
They're
of
translucent. Yeah. And they are gorgeous.
What time is it? Oh, 2:30.
Yeah.
About time for me to go, sweetie pie.
Okay. Thanks, Michigan. I'm going to leave it up there. If anyone else wants feathers, let us know and give me an idea of how long, how big, or whatever.
We're trying to get them out. It's they don't fit well in envelopes.
No, they don't.
Well, folks, thanks very much for joining us today. I'm going to go watch some golf. And y'all take care. Thanks again for coming by. I'm very glad to have you.
Let me grab my book real quick so I can do prayer.
Oh,
number.
okay. Oh, hang on. Yeah, their feathers are really something. I have a hard time throwing them away. I really do.
That's why I have a huge box of them.
Yeah,
I do too.
We got a vase up there and another huge vase up here that
Got 3 vases
there's
right
we probably have maybe 200 to 300 feathers, don't you think?
here,
Easy?
at least.
You know, of all lengths and both wings and tail. Okay, take care, y'all. Have a good week.
Ruth says, have a good afternoon.
Yep.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do is get some of those long tubes. Or I also have, depending on whether we need a bunch of feathers or not, I have a couple of long tubes, either from paper towels or I have some gift wrap tubes that I saved. So Joe says, see you later, hon.
Yep.
So, prayer request time. Does anyone have a prayer request? I have my book here and I'm ready to put them down. Lisa Clark says, bye, David.
Bye.
He's headed out now.
No, boys. How you doing?
Oh, thank you, Michigan, but that's not necessary.
Boys.
Just tell me how many you want and approximate sizes, and I'll do my best to fill that for you. If I were sending out hundreds a week, I might ask for repayment, but that's not been the case so far, so I'll share the wealth. Oh, Wendy, are you still here? Wendy from Hardneck Farms. If you're still here, I want to find out if we still need to have people on the list that you have turned in earlier, last week and the week before. We've got 11 people here after an hour and a half. That's not bad. Birds are sitting over there purring. Well, folks, let's see. Last I knew, neighbor Wendy is in rehab at the hospital, and she's been in after double lung transplant. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, she's back on there. I think she was on there last week too. I can't keep them in this book when they're turned in, when someone requests prayer. And then before the day is over today, I'll go to my calendar, which is bigger than this. It's about a half by 11 sheet. And I have a section for each week. And on the page for that week, I put all of the prayer requests. And then on Thursday nights, when I'm at the Broussard, they also take prayer requests. And I copy those down and add those to the prayer requests. So you missed last week? You mean you missed this live stream last week, Michigan? Anyway, so then I transfer at the end of the Broussard's live stream. I transfer those prayer requests onto my calendar as well. And it gets long sometimes. Last week, I think I had 18 people total on the list. And pray for wisdom and direction for your disability was denied again. Oh, Lisa, I'm so sorry. Okay. I thought that's what you meant. Well, we're still on replay if you want to go back. Okay, Michigan Salvation. By the way, when you guys make requests, I add them, and I don't put the specific health request like her lung transplant or something. I put for health reasons, and then when I pray, I just pray that the Lord goes in and deals with the situation. Because sometimes one health issue leads to another. Could I add your neighbor? He's 39 and just started going on. Oh my goodness. Yes, definitely. Okay. That's got him too in. Well, I guess if there are no more prayer requests, oh wait a minute, ordering 3 essential oils to help get relief for fibromyalgia. If sunny warm weather will help. Yes, it does help, I'm told. Fortunately, I do not have fibromyalgia. I have a number of friends who do. It was nice to visit with you too, Michigan. Thank you for dropping by. Thank all of you for coming. It really does mean a lot to us to come every Sunday and have our friends meet us here so we can all visit and talk and enjoy each other. Thank you very much. I am going to go ahead and shut it down. I need to do a couple of things, and then I'll probably go back over to Howie's live stream. He's on for 24 hours in honor of Earth Day, and I'll probably go over there, and if he's up, and do some moderating over there. So in the meantime, take care of yourself. Be well, be safe. God bless you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.